So that the left and spineless right can make this conversation about conservatives responding to the cold-blooded terroristic assassination and gleeful celebration thereafter of a young man who did nothing more than sit down at a table and allow anyone to speak their opinion. And I know what it's like because I was in that spot. I started it, and Charlie cited it as inspiration. If I could change one thing, and I do believe that I'm partially responsible for this, I failed people. I've had to do a lot of soul searching. When I did change my mind and started in 2016, the idea was, hey, calling the left on their bluff, civil dialogue with anyone to the tune of billions of plays and hundreds of hours. And it got increasingly violent. And what I didn't tell people, I told people out there, go do this on your own campus, have these conversations. I advocated for it. And Charlie took it to another level. He was unbelievable at it. What I didn't do, I didn't tell people about the threats because I didn't want copycats. I didn't tell them about terrorists from Yemen through Sweden showing up in East Grand Rapids. I didn't tell them about concrete milkshakes. I didn't tell them about my tires getting slashed, about people trying to firebomb my car. And maybe if I would have picked up the phone, maybe if I would have used this megaphone to tell people it's real life out there and the left wants you dead, maybe Charlie would have had a fighting chance.
I thought that was interesting.
Wow, go Crowder.
Yeah, and we had mentioned Crowder and doing it before, and I think someone in the chat was saying, hey, he had to stop because of the threats. So I thought this was a good clip to follow.
Yeah, I mean, he kept it secret, Eric, apparently, right? I mean...
Yeah, which I understand that. That is one of those hard calls. It's like, do you go out there and, as he said, encourage copycats, or do you keep it silent?
Yeah.
It is a hard...
I remember it was getting kind of rough for him near the end. Remember there was pushing and shoving, and there was some minor scuffles, if I recall correctly.
Oh, for sure. He got it tangled with some union members.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's talking about there. And yeah, there was definitely a lot of things going on.
Well, they simply can't have a conversation because they can't win the conversation. So that, I mean, it's almost like a tantrum.
True, and he's not the only one. Knowles had like I don't know what the substance was, if it was bleach or water, but somebody threw something on him. I think they were anticipating that kind of violence, but not an actual rifle.
Well, as you pointed out, this goes back all the way to the Weather Underground days of doing stuff. In an episode I did on Sam Kinison, the far left gay ACT UP organization was throwing acid on his audience. They broke in a side door, one of Kinison's shows in 1987. I'm just giving you a little history. And then they maced people who were online to buy tickets in a venue. We've covered the Weather Underground as an episode, how far back the violence goes there. Obviously, Saul Alinsky and Hillary Clinton both agree that violence is a way to get your point across.
What's funny, Saul Alinsky, I was shocked because I was reading, and he was against SDS and Weather Underground, and had said that they went too far over the edge.
Yeah,
and he was kind of more in the community organizing, pointing at hypocrisy and this and that. But I was shocked to read that it didn't seem like he actually supported the bombings and stuff like that.
Right. Well, nobody really did, but that didn't stop it. It's the same as this. Right. I again, who's supporting this? People at home are just like either laughing or grimacing over it, supporting it privately or are in pain over it. But it is a small fringe element. And, I don't know what the small fringe violent element is on the other side. Seinfeld compared these pro-Palestinian Hamas supporters to the Klan last week, saying they're dishonest, that the Klan, hated and violently attacked Jews and blacks, and these Hamas supporters will not be honest about their hatred of the Jews.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. And I mean, to take it full circle, and it's kind of weird. Apparently, Terry Nichols met with I think his last name is Yusuf in the original World Trade Center bomber
Mm-hmm.
in the Philippines. So
Oh,
now
yeah, a
Terry
lot of
Nichols and
Philippines.
Timothy McVeigh,
Yeah.
we're getting into some of the really hardcore right-wing, possibly white supremacist area. And Yusuf is, shall we say, probably more aligned with the Hamas side of the equation. And it's just interesting that they had met.
Yeah, the hammer and sickle has met the Hamas Palestinian flag. You're talking about strange bedfellows. I mean, this is the craziest alliance, like I said last week, to the Stalin-Hitler Pact of 1936. I mean, you talk about, I mean, it didn't last that long, but nevertheless, it allowed certain things to happen on both sides. I mean, Stalin getting ready for war and Hitler getting ready for war, whatever they were doing, arming. But this pact is just as strange, if not more so.
Yeah. And you throw in Qatar, you throw in cash, you throw in a lot of money. It's, I don't know.
You throw in Tucker, who's apparently speaking at the funeral.
I think Tucker hosted the show today too.
No.
I think so.
Oh my God. Oh my God. What more evidence do these people need that he's either off the rails or on the payroll?
Yeah. I mean, could be multiple payrolls. People are sending in things saying that he could be on Russia's payroll too.
I don't know about that, but apparently, I mean, the Qatar thing is not that far-fetched.
Well, yeah, he's with a group, and I don't know where all their money is coming from, but Donald Trump Jr. is also in that group, so it's kind of going.
Well, Candace wasn't invited to speak at the Charlie Kirk Memorial, and she claims to have been his best friend.
This whole thing going around, where she's wanting people to send her text messages. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. A war over this guy who died.
Yeah.
And saying, oh, he hated you or he loved you. Or I'm like, I can't believe they are literally fighting over a corpse, in my opinion.
Well, the phony or putting words in a corpse's mouth, which is even more insidious.
Yeah.
I mean, someone's going to have to come out and straighten it out. And I think it's going to be his wife.
I hope so, but I'm just so troubled. I feel like nobody should be putting in any direction. It's like, let this guy. I haven't even had the memorial yet. That's on Sunday. It's so disturbing.
Yeah.
But whatever. The grift must go on.
The grift must go on. I just want to give a shout out before we get into this other news about the retirement of Clayton Kershaw, which was announced last night, 18 years with the Dodgers. And there's a reason I'm mentioning this. He's automatic first ballot Hall of Famer. Played with the same team for 18 years, dominant force in the game. However, the plot twist is this. In the movie For the Love of the Game, Kevin Costner pitched his last game at Yankee Stadium and pitches a perfecto with Vin Scully announcing the game. Clayton Kershaw is going tonight against the Giants. This is the final game of his career. The Dodgers knew about this for months and sold the game to Apple TV so no fan can watch For the Love of the Game, the final real life version of that movie. I, subscribe to Apple TV, but all night long tonight, people are going to be subscribing to Apple TV in one of the greatest streaming coups of all time. And a pox on the Dodger management for once again doing the wrong thing at the wrong time with the wrong subject.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty brilliant.
It's the lowest of the low. The lowest of the low.
And a little bit of a pox on Apple for taking advantage of it.
Oh, absolutely. They knew this a month and a half. And apparently Kershaw told the team about a month ago that this was going to happen. So they knew the rotation would bring him to this Friday night Dodger-Giant game. This final game of Kershaw's career.
Well, now, because you're paying for it with Apple TV, can you watch it, or are you?
No, I'm going to watch it
because you're local. No, I didn't know if locals were frozen out. Even on streaming, I don't follow it.
They're not, but I mean, it's kind of like I pay for Spectrum just to watch the Dodgers. I pay hundreds of dollars to watch them for the season, and it's almost like you're renting a house, Airbnb. And the landlord comes back and says, I know you're in here, but I'm having a party on Saturday night. Even though you rented the house for a month, I've decided to come back in and have a pay-per-view rental football game party with my friends. You know what I mean? I've now had to rent another streaming service because they sold the games that they had sold to me.
Well, I'm glad to say that piracy is back, baby.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I've never been a fan of piracy. I don't like the idea of it, but with the shenanigans they're pulling, and people are buying movies, only to get them shut down, or they're buying games only to have servers shut down and they can't access the game. So it's like, if you can't own it, then how can it be pirated? It's like, it's
not only that,
it doesn't even exist.
You pay for Prime, you buy the movie, and then it's filled with ads. So they now have a new program within Prime to go ad free without the ads within Prime for service. No. You're not alone. I mean, people are doing it, but I mean, where does it end? Where does the Federal Trade Commission come in and say these are unfair business practices? You just can't continue to make money off of money selling things like that.
I agree, and I have to praise the couple services out there, Tubi TV and I think Pluto TV, and I hope everybody jumps on them because they are ad-supported free services. And I never thought I'd say I miss the cable bundles, but it's starting to
no, I have that too. I have that also. I mean, I'm a full opportunity customer here.
Oh, I just cut off. I only pay for internet now, but it's like, good Lord, it's horrible. It is horrible. But while we're talking about that, let's talk about normal TV, the free stuff over the air.
Yeah, that's why I brought up the Dodger thing, because we're going to get into the Jimmy Kimmel ABC thing. We're at a crossroads here now, people, with government and private viewership and ownership, and Jimmy Kimmel thinking he's a journalist who has a First Amendment right to say whatever the F he wants in a monologue every single night, and ABC pulling the plug on him. I was telling Eric before the show, they're marching around the Writers Guild here in Hollywood today with pre-made signs. They must have like a open-ended account at Office Max where they just go in and go, Writers Guild, we need signs against ABC today. Have them by 3:00.
You pointed out Jimmy Kimmel, trying to play like he's a journalist.
Yeah.
I think that's insane.
I know.
And I'll tell you why. Because if he's arguing he's a journalist, he has a higher threshold for accuracy.
Yeah.
If he says, I'm just a dumb comedian, like Joe Rogan always says, I'm just a dumb comedian, don't listen to anything I say.
Right.
If that was the way Jimmy Kimmel wanted to play it, then there's a lot more leniency. It's like, everything coming out of my mouth is BS. But
you could take the Rachel Maddow defense where, everything she said cannot be considered to be factual. However, there are slots in the FCC guidelines for news, and the 11:30 post-news slot is not a news slot among FCC guidelines, I've come to learn.
Right, and
there is a late-night entertainment slot that these TV shows fill.
Well, there's also a fairness doctrine too. So again, if he's going to be playing, one side so much, then it's going to get interesting. So Jimmy,
I think there's two things that have to go: Section 230 and reinvoking the equal time fairness doctrine. And I think that'll take care of self-management of these television broadcast networks and streamers.
And adding reviving the Smith-Mundt Act.
Yeah. There's things they can do without being heavy-handed. Now, Ted Cruz started to go after Brendan Carr yesterday, calling him a gangster. I don't know if that's helpful, comparing him to Goodfellas, the movie.
But what Carr did is kind of questionable. I mean, he did push it a little bit, I think. And if ABC just did it and the affiliates tagged on, cool. But when Carr started to make the phone calls, there may be some.
I think Benny Johnson also made the phone calls.
Oh, okay.
Benny Johnson's claiming he made the phone calls himself.
Well, Benny Johnson making phone calls, I have no problem with. FCC
I had no problem. He was on with Finnerty, claiming that he made 20 or 30 of those phone calls.
Okay, and that's great. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, if he makes them, I want to make, Tim Pool makes them, anybody. But when the FCC commissioner is making them, then it can be perceived as government interference, unless he, dotted all I's, crossed all T's. Again, I don't know, but it should be interesting. But yeah, I can see Benny Johnson making phone calls. It's good content.
Yeah. He took credit for it too. He took like a victory lap on Rob Schmidt the other night.
Yeah, well, good. I don't. Bottom line though is with Jimmy Kimmel, I think they wanted to dump him. They didn't want to pay him.
Oh yeah,
it's just like Stephen Colbert. Now they had a reason for it, and even if it looks bad on them, it helps their cred with the leftist audience. It could be like, I don't know what you mean. We had no choice. The affiliates went crazy. We were strong-armed. And they can get rid of the guy.
That being said, Colbert's contract runs for another year, and Jimmy Kimmel's is over the end of October. So they could have walked away from Jimmy Kimmel a lot cleaner by simply saying, we're not going to renew his, combined with his wife, I think they were taking down like $30 million a year on a show that was being held hostage by the left with 1 million viewers. Think about that. They couldn't get out politically from underneath this show. They were using this situation, I believe, to get out. But they could have waited, another month and gotten out by simply not renewing, which is what they did with Colbert. CBS announced we're not going to renew. So that gives Colbert a year to rant and rave. I don't know why they did that. They should have just waited till a month before and then gotten out. But with Kimmel, his contract is literally up in, I think, 45 days. So whatever even if he apologizes and comes back, he would still have to be embroiled in a contract renewal negotiation, which would not be pleasant.
No, I don't know if he even really wants to stick around.
Oh, he lawyered up immediately. He literally drove to his lawyer's office in Century City. At 1 hour after the event, he was in Century City at his lawyer's office. So he's going to fight this to the death. He has no other job that he could possibly do. Everything else leads to a podcast, as you're well aware, which is where all of these guys are going to end up going. And God bless them, because the free market could then decide whether you want to watch it or not. But using American people's licenses to have these political propaganda shows where even the corporations are being held hostage. In other words, Disney and ABC could not get out of this because of the blowback you're now seeing. This is why they just said, fuck it, let him roll. What do we care? He's got 1 million viewers. Colbert losing them money. It wasn't so much socialism as hostagism.
Yeah. No, I mean, I agree.
It's not like people are saying, oh, I have to have Jimmy Kimmel every night. When was the last time you watched Jimmy Kimmel? Well, it's been 4 years. Okay, so what do you care? Well, I like the idea that he's out there bashing Trump every single night. Well, these are not private. It's not his own private party. These are public companies with public licensing. That's the problem that the left refuses to address. And I don't remember them, Eric, yelling and screaming when an entire show was taken down within 2 hours, run by a woman named Roseanne Barr.
Oh, yeah. ABC, by the way.
No, exactly the same scenario.
Which, by the way, Jimmy Kimmel kind of replaced Bill Maher.
Bill Maher was canceled, replaced by her. But getting back to Roseanne Barr, she made a Twitter joke about the assistant to the president of the United States of America. Oh, you mean a president was involved here? Oh, my God. And her whole life was destroyed.
Yeah.
I don't remember them screaming about the First Amendment at the time.
No, I found it charming. I find it charming, actually, Mark, that the left has rediscovered freedom of speech and the First Amendment. It's great. And they seem to not like it when people go to them and say, oh, they're a private corporation and they can do what they want. They really don't like hearing that.
Right.
They love saying it, but they don't like hearing it.
I don't remember them screaming about the Twitter files upon that revelation. Everybody was being censored at Facebook, that people's books were being altered by Amazon. I just don't remember the union outcry of the left screaming about the First Amendment and censorship during 6 years of it from the left. The Hunter Biden laptop, the New York Post, Facebook, Instagram, banning of presidents from Twitter. I mean, it goes on and on and on. They apparently have complete amnesia about this.
Yeah. I mean, it is bonkers, but yeah, apparently, as you said, Jimmy is effing livid.
Yeah, he's not happy about it at all. He's going to sue no matter what happens. He's going to go to court.
Okay.
Yeah, no, knock yourself out, bro. What do we care? Speaking of court, this Trump case we talked about last week was thrown out by this. What's that?
No mas.
Well, again, if you read the reasons for it, they're insane. He says it's not until page 80 that Trump's lawyers mention the reason for the suit, and the lawsuit is too long. Oh, there it is. I mean, this doesn't make any sense, Hunley.
I have heard of that before. And that could be his lawyer's faults.
Okay.
Well, it's been. Oh, I forget. There was like one specific case, and I mean, the judge literally put out. And it's not Trump; it's another case. I don't remember what it was, but it's like the limit was X number of pages. Whatever you do, it has to be X number of pages. And they filed something that was like 3 times the length, and they're just like, goodbye.
Well, they have 45 days to refile it, so it's not the end of the world there.
Right.
Although he didn't seem to like the content of it. I don't know what's it to him, who got to this guy down in South Florida. I mean, what does he give a shit?
I don't know, but I guess any future filings need to be 40 pages.
Okay, because he's so old he was appointed by the Bush administration, I think, and he's probably 90 years old and can't read more than 90 pages.
Yeah,
maybe he should get the cliff notes. He should get the lawsuit cliff notes, Eric.
He actually looks... I don't know how old he is. He's one of those indeterminate ages.
Who appointed him? Is he a Jeb Bush guy? George Bush appointee? I thought he was.
Yeah, H.W. Bush. Wow.
Yeah, I thought so. How old is this guy?
Was he appointed at 20?
Maybe at 20. Yeah.
I mean, look at him. He does not look that
No, I haven't seen his photo. I just read H.W. Bush and assumed he was 100.
Wow, he must have been like the last appointee under H.W. Bush or something.
Well, he's the last never Trumper sticking it to the man, before he gets his retirement prize.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I guess so. Wow.
One last show business story. Gina Carano finally got a series, first network series called Logan Rain, which is a Las Vegas crime series. Done by the producers of Get Out, and it's the first thing since The Mandalorian. So congratulations to Gina Carano for fighting back against the man and sticking it to the man.
What network and everything? Do you know any of that?
I think it's a streamer. I don't know the network.
Oh, okay. So hopefully enough people will check it out and give it momentum to where it
Yeah, it's an ongoing show. So I don't know. It's a Las Vegas crime show. Maybe people know it, Logan Rain. But the one last show business story is the one about this guy, D4D, the rapper, who the thing is just going crazy now. It's moved up. It was supposed to be at the Greek tomorrow night. That's been canceled. His album was supposed to drop this morning on Spotify and Universal Records. They have put so much money in back of this kid who's 20 years old, a rapper out of Houston. Everything was supposed to go this weekend is what I'm saying. That's why I wanted to mention it. And everything's been in his raps, by the way, are clues about the girl who's found dead in the trunk of his...
back up and tell us the story.
I can back up. Dude, this is so crazy. It's happening so fast. Okay, so in the Hollywood Hills, this guy, this rapper, who was at Coachella this year, who is a soon-to-be explosive, or was soon-to-be a huge, huge star, simply because of the people behind him, including Universal Music. This was not a guy making rap records in prison. This was a guy being groomed to be the, Usher, like the next Usher.
Okay.
So he, on his fingers, has the word "shh" on his hand, right? It's part of his lyrics. And he's got a bunch of rap songs. There's a girl from Lake Elsinore who was, there it is. There's a girl from Lake Elsinore who went missing a year ago. She's 13 years of age. And apparently this is the girl, Celeste, who was found mutilated in the trunk of his Tesla in front of his house. There's a picture of her right there on the left with him, probably taken fairly recently, since this is just happening now. And she herself has the same tattoo on her fingers that he has. And in his lyrics are references to him missing her and how he longs for her again. And sorry that we had a falling out and chopped up and whatever is in there. So they find her in a bag because it began to smell. This is Celeste Rivas Hernandez. She was 13. She was 15 when they found the body. So her birthday was that day, but she was really disappeared at 13 and most likely was with him for 13 and 14. Although they raided his house last night, LAPD here in Hollywood. And the body was found in the trunk of the car, and an odor. Some of the neighbors phoned it in that this Tesla, this is the cat here, the Tesla was starting to smell, had out-of-state plates, Texas plates, and was sitting in front of his house. So he's on tour. They have still yet to arrest this guy, which seems inexplicable. He was supposed to be at the Greek Theater tomorrow night right here by me. That's been canceled. The Spotify Universal record drop this morning was canceled. Everything has been canceled, and he is now being sought by authorities. They took everything out of his house yesterday. More will be revealed in this case, but you got underage sex trafficking. You've got a mutilated dead girl. The mother reached out. The girl's been missing for over a year, and this looks like the prime suspect.
It definitely it's problematic. It's like if a corpse is found in the car, I really want to talk to the owner very badly.
Oh yeah. But they've been held back by the music industry, who have said all week that he's on tour, which is true, and he has been out of town. So he's coming back.
We'll get back to you, law enforcement. We'll get back.
So he is supposed to be at the Greek tomorrow night, which is here in LA. So supposedly he was or is coming here, since that was just canceled this morning by Golden Voice, I think is the promoter of that Greek event here in LA.
Well, I'm glad that he's finding time to show back up.
Yeah, the only thing I could think him saying, and I said this last week, was PR firm car was stolen. However, it happens to be right in front of his house.
And apparently he says somehow it was not stolen, or it was never reported stolen or something.
Right. They're in a tough spot. I mean, you've got this matching tattoos on their hands. You've got lyrics mentioning her on the album, and her mutilated body in the
decomposing trunk because apparently it's been a while.
Both. Yeah, it was decomposing, but chopped up.
Yeah, it's like, well, I never used that car. I didn't notice. I can't even imagine.
I can't even imagine what excuse they're going to come up with. But maybe the new newscaster from CNN will be able to cover this story, because Elex Michaelson, who is the last mainstream liberal in American news, has just received a report and news breaking that he will be the 9 to 11 anchorman for CNN worldwide. This is a breaking news story. Elex Michaelson was on Fox Local here for a number of years, had a show with Dr. Drew, one of the last liberals that you could actually have a conversation with. And I mean that in a good way. He graduated first in his class in journalism at UCLA or USC. I forget which one, but he's always been a fair journalist and a liberal, a normal old school liberal, Eric, whatever that means to you. Okay.
Traditional journalist, yeah.
Traditional journalistic liberal. He interviews both sides. I've seen him be tough with them. I've seen him interview Karen Bass and hold her feet to the fire.
He did good work during the fires too, right? Wasn't he?
Yes, absolutely.
In the ass?
Yep, absolutely. He worked all through COVID every night with Dr. Drew. They had a live show during COVID here on Fox. And anyway, so he has gotten a job. And the reason his job's important is for a number of reasons. One, CNN, MSNBC, and even Fox News go to reruns past 9 o'clock at night. They just rerun earlier programming.
Okay.
His show is going to be live from 9 to 11 worldwide and based in LA. For the first time, they're going to have a live. This is going back. The latest I could think of was Larry King on CNN, who happened to be based here in LA. But it wasn't really a news show. It was more like an entertainment show.
So is it 6 your time and 9 Eastern that he's going to be live, or?
Well, it's 9 to 11 Eastern, I think it is. So I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's what I was wondering.
Right. So he will then cover things from the West Coast for the first time live in CNN's history, which is really interesting because there's a lot of issues out here. And traditionally, those issues, because cable news is so East Coast centric, it never really gets covered because of the time difference and the locations of the headquarters. The last guy to do it was Larry King, who was right here on Sunset Boulevard at the other CNN offices right here. But that really wasn't a news show. Michaelson is going to go every night as the face of CNN, which this is going to be interesting because we'll see what happens. But this is a different kind of animal now.
Well, I mean, it's a good sign. I'm getting rid of other people. I mean, Scott Jennings is doing great work at CNN as well.
Right.
So maybe shifting the network.
I believe that there is and this is just my take on it. We'll see if this is true. I believe that he's being used as a Trojan horse, and that there is going to be one man who is CNN is doing this for one man, and that is the governor of California, who will be using this 9 to 11 slot for his presidential campaign. And I think that's why CNN did it. And I don't think Michelson's in on it. I don't blame Elex Michaelson. He earned it. But I believe you're going to see this abused by Gavin Newsom. Yeah. Keep your eyes open for that.
Yeah. And the other small world thing, of course, I think the first guest on, wasn't the first guest on Gavin Newsom's podcast?
Charlie Kirk. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's such a small world. I did want to do a quick follow-up on the Charlie Kirk thing, because I was getting a little bit of flack when I said about the note. And I was saying that there was, talking about the note on the keyboard. I'm like, but there was no physical note or something.
It was just confusing. I didn't understand what the
right. Well, no,
was.
and a lot of people in the chat
figured it out.
were saying that. But anyway, Kash Patel put out that the note was destroyed, but the investigators have collected forensic evidence that it had existed and confirmed its content. What? That's just weird. And
very
that
confusing.
Was part of
very confusing. He was on with Affinity last night live in an exclusive. Kash Patel answered no questions. He was quite circuitous. Affinity got nowhere. He wasn't hostile at all, but he was very smooth and not answering anything. And Affinity, to his credit, asked all the questions we were discussing. Where's the gun? How did it get off the roof? What's the deal with the note? What's the deal with the text messages? He answered none of it. He just simply said ongoing investigation. He also answered none of it about Matthew Crooks, saying, I can't answer that. This was in congressional testimony. He said, I can't answer anything about Matthew Crooks because of the upcoming trial. And it was pointed out that Crooks was dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if he got too far out over his skis, Eric, or what.
Well, it's like they're playing it both ways, which really annoys me, because one, they have the governor spouting off, they have the prosecutor literally reading a text chain, and then it's under investigation. So, which is it? You're blowing out a bunch of information here that's not necessarily relevant, and even the governor is saying, he's not cooperating, this is happening, that's happening. But then Cash's next statement would be, sorry, it's an active investigation and we can't say anything. So
I don't know the answer to that, other than his own possible good intentions but inexperience in the role. That's I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt on a bunch of these cases now, because I find it hard to believe that he's doing this for nefarious purposes. I believe it's his own inexperience, which is not far-fetched.
But then maybe he shouldn't be the damn director.
But he is. I know, but he is.
That's deputy director.
He is. He is, though. There's nothing we can do about that now. But one of the breaking stories that came out this week was the relatives and friends of Twigs reporting that he not only has had a gaming addiction, but also a substance abuse problem, which we discussed, Eric and I, last week, about meth addiction and gaming addiction going hand in hand. And I know that there are people out there who are gamers, and I am a boomer, but none of that matters for this particular subject. There are a lot of substance abuse issues in the gaming community, mostly crystal meth. And I've seen it quite a few times in my rehab experiences. He apparently has been outed now by his relatives and friends as having had these issues.
Now, is that a shifting from Adderall to crystal meth over time? Or okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it goes into wanting to stay up and get involved in this gaming over multiple time zones. You got to understand, like, you may be gaming with some kids in Japan, or, you know, there's multiple time zones. The meth abuse in the gaming community, I've never seen anything quite like it, how overwhelming it is. And I know it's not you, Bob. I know you're whoever the fictitious Bob is. I'm talking about a larger picture than individual gamers who, Mark, I don't do anything like that.
It's not Bob, it's Snarf.
Oh, it's Snarf today. Okay.
Snarf McGrew. Hey,
who's defending meth users.
That's right.
Which is kind of funny. But I hinted at that on last week's show without any information. And now his relatives and friends, whoever they are, have come out and said that he's had a history of that in the past few years. That being Twigs, not the other kid. I don't know what the other kid's thing is, but they do go together. I'd be surprised if Robinson was not also a meth abuser with his lover. They sort of go together.
Well, and on Robinson, I don't know where I saw it. I haven't seen enough people repeating it, you know, in press, but there's a question whether he also was trans himself, like doing things himself and kind of mixed up. So I don't know what.
Look, it doesn't happen overnight. It is a process. You know, it's not like you just, you know, right.
Well, and he might have been a furry thing himself or whatever. I know Mark is fuzzy. Hopefully it'll be clear. It is what it is. His camera is perfectly high def.
Yeah.
Spectrum is mad at him talking trash. And he's being punished right now on this stream because he's talking trash about them and the Dodgers.
They must pick that up immediately.
I would not be surprised. I'm just happy that I'm
not. What about
this
professor at the University of Pennsylvania, who is their global climate alarmist cat who works in the climate section, Eric?
Or Michael Mann.
Michael Mann, who's not the original Michael Mann from Miami Vice. This is Michael Mann, the climate professor at the University of Pennsylvania, who said Charlie Kirk was the head of Trump's Hitler Youth. That's got to be the quote of the week.
Well, and I love the fact that, of course, they're standing behind him. I mean,
did they really?
UPenn stands by climate alarmist Michael Mann, climate alarmist. Oh
my God!
Who called him that? So they're standing by him. That's it. He did delete his post, so I guess that's good enough.
Why did they delete it?
He deleted his post, so they probably said, "You take that shit down," and then they didn't fire him. But yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. I thought he was sticking to his guns.
Well, apparently the university didn't do anything about it at a minimum, or backed them up, and he did delete the tweet apparently, or at least one of them.
Right.
I don't know.
But I mean, he's still going to preach internally at the university
to students, to the next generation of Tylers out there. I mean, Tyler's 22.
Yeah.
Well, that would be a senior at a university. If he had stayed in school, he might be graduating now, and he could have had 3 or 4 more years of garbage being fed. Which,
I wanted to follow up on this story from last week about Letitia James that Eric and I were talking about. We thought that they had dropped the ball on the prosecution of Letitia James. Well, there's breaking news moments before the show. Eric Siebert, who is the U.S. attorney out of the Eastern District of Virginia, who has not been confirmed by the Senate, is having his career ended by Trump. Siebert refused to prosecute Letitia James. We discussed this last week. We didn't have any rational reason. And apparently behind the scenes, we've learned now that the Trump Justice Department found out that this guy was the guy who was refusing to prosecute Letitia James. He is now being removed from United States Senate confirmation scheduling, and his career is ending by the end of the week. Trump will then put someone else up there, making it an acting U.S. attorney out of that district, and will prosecute Letitia James.
Bye-bye now.
Wow. Wow. You talk about deep state. You talk about deep state still hanging on, trying to undermine him. Did this guy think that Trump wouldn't notice? I mean, I don't understand. We noticed, and we're just,
there's so many people in there. That's the issue.
But he was waiting for confirmation by the United States Senate. This is not a minor, low-level official.
No, I know. I'm saying, but they're riddled with it, Mark. I mean, it's so bad. That's why I think it's wonderful when a Harmeet Dillon goes in there and, like a dozen, 20, however many they quit. It's like, oh, thank you. The more people who resign, the easier it is, because they stick around and they just are gutting every second of every day. They're just waiting for Trump to be gone.
How do I look now, by the way? Am I squiggly?
You're still blurry.
Okay, go ahead. I feel blurry. It was like, where was that? It was a Woody Allen movie where the guy, Robin Williams was in it, and he was out of focus. These people were out of focus. It was like a surreal Woody Allen movie, and they were shooting something at the Bethesda Fountain in Central Park, and there was a crew there, and they were looking through the lens and going, he's out of focus. He really is out of focus. And he goes home to his family, Robin Williams, and he's out of focus to his own family. A very funny bit by Woody Allen. But speaking of out of focus, how about these city councilmen in Dearborn, Michigan, telling that Christian pastor to take a walk?
No. That was the mayor.
It was the mayor. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. No, it was the mayor himself.
Wow.
Saying that we're happy for you to go away. I would have a parade when you left town.
Wow. They're kind of open-minded, the Sharia law people, aren't they?
Well, the chief is also, the chief is also Muslim, and Sharia law may be going into effect in Dearborn. This is something
I think it's already been in effect for a number of years. Every single politician there is a Muslim.
Yeah, well, I think that.
Who's that guy? Who is that guy?
This is the mayor.
Oh, that's the guy. I thought he was a city councilman. Okay. Holy crap. What are they going to have? Beheadings next?
I'm sure they'd like to. Let me see.
Trump's got to get in there with the National Guard and remove these people. He's got to go in there. Now, where is the National Guard at this point? Have they gone into Memphis yet?
I don't know. I don't know where they are with Memphis.
But let's see what this guy's got to say here.
I was looking. It looks like he's just talking about it. I wanted to see the actual.
The Lord Jesus.
Whoa.
Changed the world.
No, he's just talking out about it.
He's talking Jesus stuff.
Well, I mean, good for him. I mean, we have a major part of our audience who loves Jesus, so that's fine.
What about this Oberlin College story, Eric, that you were that we were talking about with this?
It's obviously not good when you have a student who is saying we need to bring back political assassinations. Like, so we got one done. Let's keep the trend going, is what it appears this student is saying. And this student is, of course, Chinese.
Of course, she's Chinese. We need more of them in the academy. Bring more of them in there.
Now, she grew up in Connecticut, so I don't know if she's an American citizen or not. But
look, when you start quoting Chairman Mao from the Little Red Book at Oberlin College, I don't give a shit.
It is Mao.
It is Chairman Mao. Am I wrong?
Yep.
Is she? Was she quoting?
She says her statement was influenced by her learnings about Chairman Mao.
Right on.
Went on to misguided, perhaps inadvertently, to praise the Chinese leaders' authoritarianism.
Oh my God, dude, we can't have these people in school. And I mean, come on. I mean, it's the equivalent of quoting Hitler. What, it's like praising Hitler. What difference does it make? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, she had learned that after the 1949 Chinese Revolution, Mao had decided that people deserve free speech. But now you know the rule of but, right?
Yeah.
Behold the underlying truth, which means that everything prior to but is irrelevant. After the but.
Right.
So, but there should not be free speech for reactionaries and imperialists and like capitalists.
Wow.
Because that would reverse the progress made by the revolution.
Which would be a problem. Now, she's calling for the return of political assassinations. But return meaning return from China or here?
Well, probably here. I mean, she's probably like, hey, you know what? It's been a long time since Malcolm X and, MLK, the Kennedys. Come on, it's about time. Crazy. It's purely.
Well, it's weird. The three big voices on Newsmax that I watched this week, Greg Kelly and Rob Schmidt and Rob Finnerty, were all using the Charlie Kirk assassination, showing Matthew Crooks, Robinson, and Lee Harvey Oswald. All three shows demonstrated accusing Oswald of being the same as Matthew Crooks, a man with a rifle and a high perch. Matthew Crooks, man with a rifle and a high perch, and Robinson, a man with a rifle and a high perch. And they couldn't really get out of their own mess. They were so convinced that this was the way to go as news segments because it just made its own sauce for them that they kind of stepped on their own dicks, trying to, at the same time, say there might be more to the Kennedy assassination. But we're going to forget that right now and just go with Lee Harvey Oswald for the sake of these segments. It was so amateur.
MLK? They should have done MLK. At least it would have been parallel.
Well, one of them did do MLK because they kept saying that all of the assassins were leftists. They said Lee Harvey Oswald was a leftist because he clearly defected to the Soviet Union. They said that's a no-brainer. Then they got to MLK, and they said he was killed by James Earl Ray. And I went like, was he a leftist? So they said, well, he was a gun for hire and needed the money who hated capitalism.
Oh, okay.
I'm going, what the fuck, dude? These were this was like conspiracy 101 for idiots. These three talking heads, who I watch every night, made themselves look like complete fucking morons this week.
So you mean idiots for conspiracy? We'll reverse the order.
Yeah. Idiots for conspiracy 101. I mean, holy shit. Totally embarrassing. Totally. I was embarrassed to watch them. I felt, you ever watch something and you're cringing for them? Well, like you're cringing out of embarrassment going,
well, if it's somebody I respect and enjoy, I'm cringing for myself too, because I'm going, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that's what
I counted these. Oh, no. What else have they been wrong about? How stupid am I?
Because
I've gotten the source.
That's what I did. Holy crap.
Oh, my Lord. But that's the, you've heard of the Gelman amnesia, right?
Yeah, what is that? I have heard of that.
That literally is that scenario. Gelman amnesia was made up by Michael Crichton. He named it after Murray Gell-Mann. And the basic premise is how if you're specialized in something, like I know quite a bit about technology or computers, and I see an article, I'm like, they're so full of shit. It doesn't work that way. They're idiots. It's wrong. But then I read another article about another subject, and I'm like, that's messed up. And I believe everything you say. And it's like, well, if they don't know what the hell they're talking about with what you do know, well, the odds are they're idiots on the other subject as well.
Yeah, they brought on this NASA scientist from Harvard who said this comet that's going around the Earth and around the sun, it's coming back around next week apparently, may be a UFO, or not a UFO as a flying object, but may have properties from other worlds, that it's not a comet, a traditional comet. So then NASA kind of laughed at the idea, but said, well, we're not 100% sure what the makeup is of this particular comet. So we're going to look at these photographs they're taking right now as the comet passes the Earth. And they left the door ajar, NASA, right? And the scientist who was from Harvard was like a German scientist. And he said, this is not a typical comet. I'm just here to tell you. And then Rob Finnerty was saying, well, we're going to find out because we're going to take these really close-up photos of it and see what it is. And he says NASA's always mocking. And he was right about this. Every time they get into something that NASA doesn't support, they issue a press release mockingly. And they weren't issuing a press report mockingly for this woman who was fired this week for mortgage fraud. This was another Black DEI woman from NASA, a scientist, quote unquote, DEI hire in some obscure bowels of NASA, who was living above her means.
Always that pose too. How many times have you seen that?
They always pose like this. They always get homes that they can't afford. And now the government is cracking down on this mortgage fraud. But I wish you would say what her scientific genius was. There was some area that she worked in. I don't know if you could see that. It stood out as kind of like
NASA contractor. I'm trying to find what.
Yeah, well, I think she was convicted already. 3 states with a mortgage fraud. Scroll down a little bit. At the very top, it might say, at the top of the story, it might say who was working now. Oh, space toxicologist. That's what Eric, I cracked up last night. She's a outer space toxicologist. Because
oh my God.
If you can get fresh air spray around some of these comets, which was her DEI hire, and now look how she had to live. And of course, now she's been convicted of fraud. And this is just the same as the chick at the bank. Eventually, she will be taken out in manacles. She's fighting a tooth and nail. Brock, I think her name is. And also Letitia James, and also, what's her name, down in Atlanta. This
Cook,
is, what's that?
Cook?
Oh, yeah, Cook. I'm sorry. Yeah, at the Fed. I'm sorry.
Okay, yeah, like Lisa Cook or something.
Lisa Cook. This is so prevalent right now. They believe that they could get away with this black collar crime, as I call it, and it's so easy to catch them. This is like low hanging fruit. They're now claiming that Cook signed these documents but didn't really mean it. The signature. This is for the Cook one at the Fed. This one had no wiggle room whatsoever. This is complete mortgage fraud. But the desire to live way above your means. You're given this gift from God, this government job. Right. This fake job. And you just go, how much does the fake job pay? Well, it pays $250,000 a year. Good. I'm getting a home for $850,000. Whoa. You could live pretty large for $250,000. Yeah, but this is probably going to go on for years. I'm going to get a mega mansion now outside of Atlanta. I mean, the greed and corruption is just breathtaking. Toxicologist, scientist. Give me a break.
You know what that makes me think of? I the term slips on my mind, but when somebody in a community gets elected and then they give the jobs to all their friends and neighbors and all these bullshit jobs.
That's cronyism.
Right, but there's a term for that type of job. This is like on another level. Like they're actually making up positions
because they don't have the degrees. They don't have the qualifications to be a fucking NASA scientist. You'd have to have a degree from MIT. You'd have to have a PhD. You'd have to have all this stuff. And they're not they haven't conquered the STEMs yet, Eric. They've dabbled in the STEMs. They've entered in their toes and foot into the STEMs. But they're just going to shove them into the STEM world to DEI and STEM that world.
Well, actually, what was it? I was doing an interview with James Lindsay, and he's out of the academia world. He said that they do have studies on studies. So, but they have degrees now that are studying the other degrees,
right?
One step removed. So instead of learning like mathematics, it's like mathematical
analysis
studies. But know about how math is racist or something. I don't know, but
definitely. In other words, they tried to find ways to get them into the STEM world. She was part of this, and this is what she did. Once they opened the door for this fat bastard, she said, "I've got to get an $850,000 mega mansion
because I deserve it."
By the way, I think Crocker lost her seat this week officially.
I think her and Al Green both are losing their seats, but they're still up there mouthing off.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they get the rest of their term, whatever it is.
Right. That makes sense.
But yeah, I'm sure that that will free her up to go around. You know what? She could be like Stacey Abrams, because Stacey Abrams.
She is Stacey Abrams. That's who she is.
There is the woman has no position that I know of.
How did she end up on Star Trek? Will Crocker end up on Star Trek?
Why not?
That being said, speaking about black women, did you hear the Kamala Harris book? How she threw Buttigieg under the bus? Whoa!
Which is just unbelievable, though. I mean,
wow,
it was so funny. At Turrentine, his head almost exploded.
I know.
He was like, "Why? What is she doing?" Yeah, he said she's just weak. She's just saying, "I can't even pick
Eric,
my person."
He hates her.
Oh yeah, now the gloves are off. He never liked her, but he's like now.
Well, she's thrown Biden under the bus, and now she's thrown Buttigieg under the bus.
She's throwing everybody under the bus. So, he's a Democrat operator, so it's like this woman.
For people at home who don't know what we're talking about, in her book excerpt, she said that she didn't pick Buttigieg to be her vice president because he was gay, and because of that, he could never win. So she went with Tim Walz, Tampon Tim instead of Pete. I'll tell you something. Pete Buttigieg, to his credit, might have helped her more than Tampon Tim.
Oh, he would have.
Am I wrong? Or what's your perception of that?
Absolutely. I mean, it's not like I want him to run for president, because I don't think he can get elected.
No,
but
right.
He would not have, made up all the weird, stupid things that Waltz did. I mean, Waltz has so many weird statements.
Somebody pointed out that Buttigieg has stolen valor too.
Oh, does he? Oh, boy.
Yeah, no, they had him in a camouflage uniform in Afghanistan or something. He claimed to have fought in Afghanistan when he was just some PR clerk or something. Well, maybe people in the chat could look it up, but somebody was implying that Buttigieg.
All Democrats have stolen valor? I mean, you've got the Maryland governor now with his stolen valor. I'm like, that's just so disgusting. Somebody's asking us to discuss the Kill Mead debacle. I don't know what that is.
Oh, Kill Mead said, I think it was an off-the-cuff remark saying kill all the homeless.
Oh. Okay.
Kill Mead said Kill Mead, and an off-the-cuff jocular, just I haven't dug into it, but my sense was this was an off-the-cuff jocular remark by Kill Mead.
Okay.
And then he apologized for it.
Okay, I hadn't heard of it, so fair enough. Did you we talked a little bit about Candace earlier, but she is in the news. She's managing to stay.
I can't keep up with her. What is going on, Eric?
Well, apparently the Macrons are getting ready to present scientific and photographic evidence that say, she's a woman. Mm-hmm. And Candace Owens, who said, "Oh, I want this to go to trial. I won't let it. I don't want a dismissal because I want the discovery." Well, she's filed for dismissal.
Oh my God, that's terrible. That's terrible. Well, I don't know how these international cases work. Can the head of another nation sue you for damages?
Yes. Apparently they can here.
And what court does that happen in? What planet?
Well, it's in Delaware. It's the same.
Okay. Right.
It's the same lawyers that did Dominion and got like $800 million out of Fox or whatever it was.
Dominion, yeah.
And what they're suing on is interesting, because calling somebody trans isn't defamation in of itself. So saying
it's like I'm saying you're a fag or a homosexual. What is wrong with that? Why is that defamatory anymore?
They're saying that they're suing her for defaming her for saying she's defrauding the country by pretend. And it's an interesting way to go at it, because that is in fact defamation if who's perpetuating a fraud and pulling money from it.
Right. I mean, if you say Macron is gay, why would that be slur? He might very well be gay.
Right. Yeah. Now there are occasions that it could be defamatory to say that, like if, for example, I don't know, if you were to call the Pope that.
Or the head of the Boy Scouts or something.
Where it's so specific with their job and they cannot have that, then that might step up to the level.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, and she's inserted her into that.
Yeah, she should have a thing every day instead of Today in the News, Today in the Jews. But she should have a segment where Candace Owens, Today in the Jews, and just like link everything she could possibly link to the Jews on that particular day. Could be a 5-minute segment, but I think people would tune in.
She might as well, but it seems like she's got an hourly version. Just tune in. There's something going on.
Yeah.
Every day.
I think she said the Macrons were now being pressured by the Jews to go after her.
Well, no, she said the whole assassination was a Fed operation.
Right.
And that's her new one. And this is how bad it is. Things are off the rails when, of all people, this guy is going out after him.
Oh my God.
Time to wake up, guys. Some of this, I'll be the first one to say, the conspiratard schizo thing, it's getting a little out of control. And that's coming from me.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we are truly through the looking glass. When Charlie Kirk is assassinated, people blame Israel. I, who fought Charlie Kirk because he was pro-Israel, am being said to, I'm being said to be covering up that he was killed for this miraculous conversion. If Ben Shapiro was taken out next, and God forbid, would Israel be behind that too?
Probably, according to these people.
That would be equally ridiculous. If it was Ben Shapiro on Wednesday, people would be saying, Israel did it. Shapiro was about to become a national socialist. Like, what?
That's funny.
It's crazy.
Well, they seem to want it both ways. They seem to want it both ways.
Believe me, I'm no fan of this guy, but
yeah,
it's hilarious when you look under that and people are like, they got to him.
Yeah.
They got to him.
They got to Nick Fuentes.
I can't believe it. They got to Nick.
They got to Nick Fuentes, bro.
I'm like,
how did they do it? They got to Fuentes. Every man has his price, Hunley.
Yeah. I'm just like, okay. But you're in a interesting spot when even Nick Fuentes.
Well, he was on, ironically, you talk about platforming somebody. Russell Brand had him on for his show yesterday.
Oh, I saw a clip of that.
Yeah.
Does Russell Brand not believe in clothing anymore?
He may be starting to crack. He may be starting to buckle, Russell Brand. Once he starts taking his clothes off, might be some trouble there.
Okay, so it's not just me who's going.
No.
And he's like kind of laying across his desk.
Yeah, he's under a lot of pressure. He's about to go to jail, as I said, probably for 20 years in England, because of these trumped up charges from 30 years ago.
And the thing is, I've always liked Russell Brand to a
Me
degree.
too.
He's enjoyable to watch.
Yeah,
but he does have that cult leader vibe going. He's had that for a while. Just the whole necklace and all what have you.
That's his thing for a long time. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But now he's born again, so who knows where he's going?
Yeah.
Somebody said, I think it was one of his writers who had on my show, said, do you believe he thinks Brand is making it up? I said, I don't think he's making up anything. I think he truly, got into Christianity. I think he's into a lot of different things.
It could be.
I don't think he's making it up. I think he went down that road.
Yeah, if not cult leader, I think I was thinking guru. Especially.
Yeah.
He's definitely
he likes being a guru.
Vibe. Yeah. That's his fashion sense.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? We did something, a story before. I think you sent it to me, and it was about Ozempic.
Ozempic the drug?
Yeah, Ozempic dick, or something like that.
Oh yeah. What was the deal with that thing?
All right. Well, I'm going to tee into, because this is trending again. The story's actually older, but it's trending now. There's also Ozempic breasts.
No.
And it's for the opposite reason, apparently.
They're drooping. They're dropping.
We're emptying.
Oh, emptying. Oh, this is so dark. Oh,
yes. Yeah, there's a sad.
Well, there must be fatty tissue with.
Oh, there's also a Ozempic butt.
The Ozempic butt, yeah, I've heard about
Ozempic
that.
face, we've seen that. I mean,
we've
Sharon,
seen that.
that was one.
Yeah, we've seen that. Yeah, The problem is it drains the fat all over your body instead of the place that you particularly don't like. Ozempic is an equal opportunity fat drainer that will take fat from every portion of your body equally, and drain it out of your body. And you just are horrified by a place that you did not want it drained, like your face or your breast or your ass.
That's true. And I guess the males are a little bit luckier in that front because it's not really a fatty area. So it drains all the fat around and it leaves what's remaining seemingly bigger.
Seemingly larger. Yes. It's seemingly, I don't think it's a enhancer drug. And plus you'd have to look for that to find it. That's not visible, to the naked eye.
Well, yeah. I mean,
you'd have to be naked for that eye to see that. And the eyes have it.
And maybe they haven't seen it for a while.
Yeah. I mean, look, just saying. I had a friend who was a fat comic, and he said he used to have to examine his private parts with dental mirrors.
Oh, my.
I'm sorry. Well, he said it in his act. I mean, it wasn't like that.
No, I know. Well, I mean, Ralphie May.
May replaced him, yeah.
And Ralphie May was hilarious.
So was John Candy. I mean, there's a lot of guys, and going back to Fatty Arbuckle.
Yeah. Well, okay, here's the irony, though, is if you look at pictures of like Fatty Arbuckle, you'll be like, oh, he's just a guy at Walmart.
Yeah, back then.
I mean, what was fat then?
Yeah.
And it is like, wow.
Yeah.
And I'm admittedly not a tiny person, so I'm not saying.
Well, if you look at, I've always said, if you look at the photos of RFK's funeral, there's a funeral train that goes across the country, and it's showing you a cross section of American society, how skinny everyone is in 1968, and then you look at 20 years later, just how obese, and 68, 69 is the beginning of food stamps, and people have made the connection between free food for an entire country, essentially, to obesity.
Well, there's a correlation with that. There's also a correlation with the tobacco companies. When they got in trouble, they bought the food companies that use their same science to make it addictive and pump in ingredients to get it there. But another place you can see it is whenever they do like the 1970s retrospectives or what have you, and you see concerts, it's like, wow, are they starving?
Yeah. Right.
All
No,
these
absolutely.
Dancing and running around. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah. Look at Woodstock. I mean, which is 68. Look how skinny everyone is. There's not a fat person in that crowd.
No. I mean, it is insane. Well, back to Hollywood, I guess Chris Wallace is getting a star.
Can you explain this to me? I don't understand this. There's nobody like him on the. Why is he on the Walk of Fame?
Well, don't you just pay to get in there?
Essentially, yeah, but they don't put, like they try to keep it like show business.
Well, I guess television. But I didn't think they gave I don't
remember them giving it to broadcasters.
I mean, I'm okay, but that's odd.
It's a waste.
Did his dad get it?
I think there might be one for his dad, but
his dad has one.
Yeah, maybe that's the connection. So even in the Walk of Fame, there is a nepotism.
Sure.
He's a Nepo baby to begin with. His entire career is based on nepotism. But even in the post-career, nepotism still continues to reign.
Yeah. That's got to be hard, though, because, I mean, what's he in his 60s now?
Yeah.
It's like when you're the kid and then you're like an old man, but you're the kid and you never grow out of being the kid.
Dude, what about those guys who are like in their 90s and they have sons who are 71 or 65?
Oh, yeah. How'd you like to be the son?
Yeah. How weird is that?
I gotta go see my dad. And it is weird to me when I see somebody and they're like, yeah, I gotta go see my dad.
Well, Robert Redford lost a son who was 58 to cancer. But he also lost another son to crib death when he was 2 years old, if I remember correctly. Wow. He lost two of his sons to accidents. Oh, not accidents, but premature death.
Dershowitz just lost his.
Yeah. Well, he was in his 60s, though, right?
Right. And Alan says, hey, so that's like kind of this weird, upside down.
Well, Dershowitz came out today and said it's going to be difficult to find a attorney who can represent Robinson properly.
because of lack in Utah, or
no, just the quality guys are not going to want to do it, and he may end up with a substandard. This is what Dershowitz said today. He may end up with a substandard attorney because of just people saying, I'm not interested in that job.
Okay. I mean,
it doesn't say the quality. The Constitution doesn't guarantee the quality of your attorney, just the fact that you get an attorney.
I would think that one of these psychotic leftists that are celebrating Kirk's death might be a talented lawyer, unfortunately, but
maybe that Alex Jones attorney. What about him?
Well, he'd take it. I'm sure if he was asked, because he's a believer in justice for everybody. JR99. What about Mark Garagos?
I don't know if he could do it too. If the money's there, Garagos will do it. If they could find the money for Garagos, which this family, I think, probably can. Who, like I said, the people representing Mangione in New York are the top people.
Comey is free.
She's got a moment. Let her do it.
I like that. No. Anyway, Norm Pattis. Sorry, that's what you were saying.
Norm Pattis, yeah.
And I believe he would, again, but it'd be on principle, not like, I'm going to go get famous off the guy.
Right, but I'm saying the attorney in New York is pretty famous as the top criminal attorney in New York, the woman, and she's representing Mangione. I don't know if she's licensed or as part of the bar of Utah, but it could be somebody like her.
Well, I think that they can get...
you get clearance pretty quick, right?
Well, I think what they do is they have a local lawyer as a co-counsel or something, and get permission from the court to
right. Well, she's got her hands full with Mangione, so I don't know if she can do another one.
Oh yeah, this is a good one. Jose Baez.
Who is that?
I believe he got off the one who killed her daughter, potentially. I forgot her name, in Florida. She was a death penalty case. Now she's out. She's like running around free.
Wow.
Oh, come on, people, help me out. Chat, save me. Casey Anthony.
Oh, right. Didn't she drive him into the lake or something, or drown them or something?
No. That was Susan Smith.
Okay, it's hard to keep up.
Kaylee got killed and was found, all that. So Casey Anthony did get off, and I interviewed a FBI guy on it. He said that the prosecution failed on that because they overcharged, and they only charged the first degree capital punishment case. They didn't do any lower, and so it was all or nothing.
Oh, I see.
They wound up losing.
Wow. Well, we'll see what happens with Twiggs, because he's cooperating with the prosecution. So that's going to be interesting. And Finity asked, or the other guy, Schmidt, asked, no, it's Finity, asked Kash Patel about the cooperation of the lover. And as other people pointed out, having knowledge of a crime and not reporting it is not a crime.
Correct.
Yeah, it sounds weird. Sounds weird, but true.
Things like that letter being destroyed and all that could be an accessory.
Yeah, I'm still completely confused as to who destroyed the letter.
It's very vague. Because
I know.
It is actually put at, I was thinking, okay, well, one, if he destroyed and took a picture of it, that just leads more to my credence saying this whole thing was staged.
Who took the picture? Was it a digital photo of when they went into the footprint and found the original letter digitally and then took a photo? That was my interpretation, that they took a photo of their recovery of it.
Which
digitally,
maybe, and then they destroyed it on the way to the station.
No. I think it was destroyed originally, but they found a digital copy and took a photo of it. That's as much as I could pull out of that crazy
I understand, story. But where would be a digital copy? I'm just saying, why would somebody take a damn picture of something unless you're recording it for the future?
It's very confusing. It's very confusing,
and that's why you tie that with the weird text, the verbiage, the language, and it's like, this is some weird stuff. And
well, look, it's the story's 7, 8 days old. I mean, you got to give somebody a break. I mean, I'm sorry. I hate to tell you that it's a relatively new story.
I agree. It's actually shocking though that he's been gone for 9 days.
9 days.
I
Mondays.
feel like he was only killed this Wednesday, not
Yeah,
the Wednesday before. It's
Yeah.
still so raw.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, this story is going to go away because, as Patel said and others, the trial is months from now. You know what I mean? So they're going to go to ground now, everybody, and begin to focus underground, and they're going to lawyer up and all that stuff, and there's going to be other news. So this thing is going to disappear until the trial comes around,
which may be a good thing.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know if I am more disgusted by the left, the people on the left who are dancing on his grave, or the people who I feel are trying to grift off of him. And
they're separate stories. You can have disgust in separate areas. They're separate disgusting areas of the story. I mean, they're not connected. They're just separate avenues of this insane story.
And all is depressing.
Right.
I mean, it's unbelievable. Here's a follow-up story. We didn't spend a lot of time on it, but it is good to follow up on it. Raja Jackson was officially arrested this morning.
Yeah, I don't know who this is, so I don't know.
All right. Well, Raja is the guy who got into that conflict. He was with a wrestler, and the wrestler did like a thing, like breaking a can on his head, faking it to set up a beef. And he thought that they were going to be doing some sort of event, having, like a beat for a storyline. It turns out this guy was not in there for it. He's a UFC fighter, MMA fighter, but the guy apologized. He said, "Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't know that. I thought it was a beef. Everything's cool." Shaking their hands. And then all the people around Raja, the MMA guy, said, "Oh, you need to go in to get receipts." They went in they were in the ring. The wrestler, Raja, came off the side, tackled him to the floor, and just beat him. I mean,
to death, or
it could have been. I mean, the guy is lucky to survive. I think he was punched over 20 times.
Okay, so what's
a professional fighter? When he was down, he was unconscious and still getting hit pummeled.
Weird.
It's gruesome to see.
Oh, well, I don't want to see it.
No, I'm not going to share it. I mean, I'm just telling you that it is brutal, and he was charged with battery.
He was charged. Okay, all right, that's odd.
Yeah, he was finally arrested and charged this morning. It took a while before they actually did. I think the incident took place 3 weeks ago.
Oh, well, not as long as the May 30th incident of
any charge of battery with serious bodily injury.
Okay. By the way, that kid thing we talked about with the Kirk shooting, that the kids are present. What was that?
I'm sorry, that was a team.
The kids being present during the assassination apparently is some low level or a misdemeanor that they threw on top of the charges with him. Remember we were talking about
enhancement, I think.
It was an enhancement, but it was a misdemeanor. It's the lowest level of all the charges against Robinson. Which I didn't even know was a crime. And we had a brief discussion about it, and apparently it's a misdemeanor.
Okay.
Because how would you know who's present when you did whatever,
Right.
Well, I think it's
unless you did it in a class. You know what? That might be
in a classroom. Yeah.
I bet you that was to address school shooting type of situation.
Maybe.
I didn't even think about that, but
maybe.
A lot of
there's more to be revealed here, obviously. I mean, it's a gray area of how much they're going to reveal to us. And the conspiratorial right can be as crazy as the conspiratorial left with the lack of information. They could go off the rails just as well.
Yeah.
As we've seen.
Yes.
I like when you criticize, I don't know if this happened recently, but there are times when you criticize a conspiracy and then they turn on you that you're part of it.
What? You mean like people who loved our video on James Earl Ray so much and they think we're just the perfect ones? And we didn't miss a thing?
Yeah.
Or the video that really is so bad with the sound on Marilyn Monroe, and we talked about
that one, yeah.
But yeah, we've definitely heard.
Like
about
I
that.
said when I first met Eric, I said if everything's a conspiracy, nothing's a conspiracy. This idea that every single thing is conspiratorial is hard to maintain. It's just hard to maintain.
Yeah, I like the latest thing going around because I see these videos. Since there's a clip of somebody on his staff pulling the camera down.
Yeah.
And there are people I like who are pointing this one out. I'm like, okay. He's pulling the camera down, and they're like, guys, he's been taken to the hospital 5 minutes before. And all I can think about is, I deal with cameras. I deal with all this.
They're dismantling their own event and taking their equipment.
Well, and more importantly, you take the camera down, and then you go inside and you pull the SD card, and then you probably hand it over to the FBI or whichever authority, because there's potentially evidence on there. They're making it sound like, look at them, they're getting rid of the camera, they're hiding all traces of it. There's people who are reporting that he was shot from behind.
Yeah, that's an exit wound in his chest. I mean, or neck rather.
And I just look at that and I'm like, God, the CIA's done good work.
They're doing very good work. Very good work.
You get all this stuff out there, and
look, this stuff could be out there from people on the left trying to make trouble too, Eric.
Yeah, but this is, well,
no, but I'm saying it
originated there, but it's carried by the right.
It could originate by leftist or foreign troublemakers trying to create. Right, Eric? I mean,
that could be the origin. 100%.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, it's being amplified.
I said that this week. I said that this week. This may be coming from the left. It may be coming from foreign governments trying to amplify a chaotic situation. People need to take that into account before they go off half crazed.
Yeah, I even heard somebody claiming that Ukraine could be involved.
Yeah.
That's
what I mean.
Anyway,
we have to wait. There's nothing we can do. You have to trust. I mean, the idea that, like I was saying this past week, the idea that Kash Patel and Dan Bongino wrote those text messages is insane.
How many times have you seen that? The real text messages, and it's like,
right.
You can't say it's the FBI who's putting words into our mouth. And
right. But I'm saying you either trust Patel and Bongino on these enormous subjects, or you don't. They seem to be confident that these are original text messages, and I have no choice but to go with them for the time being. Like,
I think they are original as well. I think that the two people involved made sure they had that conversation. I don't think
that we don't know. We again, this is merely surmising. The idea that Gen Zs don't talk like that. Well, then you can't have them writing the text messages, because they could have written it in another type of Gen Z language, which was their own, to be more convincing. You can't have it both ways. In other words, if they didn't write it because it doesn't sound like Gen Z guys, but they wrote it beforehand, why wouldn't they write it in a Gen Z language that would make it more palatable to people who don't believe that Gen Z people talk that way? And if not, you're suggesting that other people from not Gen Z wrote it. That would lead us to believe that Bongino or Patel or some of their men, what they're implying, Eric, that someone in law enforcement wrote these.
Right. I'm just stating my opinion on it, which is, I think that the texts were generated by the two people involved. I think that they were bullshitting, possibly, though. I don't know for sure, but I think that it feels kind of like a rehearsed script.
Again, this is something that is not easily provable now, but when they go to court, when this kid is cooperating with the prosecution, there's going to be more information, is all I'm saying.
And by the way, I think that the law enforcement is correct in saying he's cooperating.
Yeah.
You just hoover every bit of information.
Suck it all in. Of course.
And then later on, you have plenty of time to say, okay, well, thank you for all this stuff. And by the way, this doesn't work. But, get it, work with them, be friendly as can be.
This cherry picking about their language by people who are 50 years old saying Gen Z kids don't talk like that. Well, they did in this case, unless you had FBI agents writing it.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't know how everybody doesn't talk the same way. But when you're 22 years old and studying electronics at a vocational school.
That's true. I like I said, it just kind of feels scripted, like as if they're writing it, like they're influenced by television or something and whatever. But we'll see.
We'll see.
There's lots of time.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, somebody sent me this.
Who's this guy?
This is the sheriff of
In
Washington
Utah?
County talking about the
Oh.
arrangements to bring him in.
Right.
What did he ask for? Can I ask?
He basically for a peaceful, gentle, comfortable transition for him to come out. Again, he knew he was going to get caught. He didn't want a big SWAT team hitting his parents' house or his apartment. He was truly fearful of being shot by law enforcement. So that the conditions were as relaxed and comfortable and almost to the point of, inviting. And if at the end of the day, we accomplish him surrendering peacefully on his own, I'm gonna make some concessions to make that happen.
Okay. I don't have a problem with that.
No, I respect that. I mean, you want him in custody. Fine.
Yeah.
Officers could get hurt if, whatever. It's like if he's willing to walk in and say, here you go, roll out the carpet.
Right.
Lock him
Well,
up.
I think he probably showed up with his parents, right? And his
I think so,
minister or
but it sounds
something.
like that there was communication back.
Yeah,
and
no,
forth.
there was.
We're
There
not going
was.
to tackle you. We're not, and,
Right.
I respect that. Somebody was pointing, I think Phil was just pointing out that, it's so ironic though, that he's potentially happy to gun somebody down, has no care in the world for the violence on another, but it's like me, it's got to be comfortable and nice. And
Well,
cozy.
also the fear of his parental home being trashed. That's a bridge too far.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he lived in the basement mixing up the medicine.
Okay. Which song is that one?
Subterranean Homesick Blues.
Okay. I knew it was a song. Give me at least that one. Let me see.
What happens to the place that they lived in, the two of them? They're both, the kid's not in
one's still
custody.
there.
The furry's not in custody.
Yeah,
There's
I mean,
breaking
I'm
news out
sure
of the Daily Mail today that they were into furry animated child prawns. And I don't know if that's a thing, but apparently it's some sort of an animated thing.
Well, why stop with one, right? If you can be perverse,
Look,
why limit your menu, I guess.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a freak. Let me go through some super chats
Oh,
here.
go
We
ahead,
got Jelmar Salinger. Question mark, what's your overall take on Kash Patel?
Yeah, that's what I was just talking about moments ago. I have to give the guy the benefit of the doubt because to get him out of there as a federal project, I think he is learning on the job. I think his intentions are good. I think he's an honest guy. I think he gave as good as he could get. He hates Adam Schiff's guts. So me and him have that in common.
And Swalwell.
And he hates Swalwell. So we have that in common.
He was slinging everybody.
I know. So I kind of enjoyed that. He kind of won me over, Kash Patel, this week in the senatorial hearings and congressional hearings. I mean, he was quite fiery. But again, only time is going to tell with Patel.
Fair enough.
In my humble opinion.
814. I read Smokescreen, a real eye opener.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to start reading it myself. Thank you. I'm going to get that book, which I recommended last week, how the marijuana industry is pulling the wool over America's eyes.
Let me get that title down. I couldn't
remember.
Yeah,
it's a little long at the end. Smokescreen, how the how the marijuana industry is deceiving America.
I just forgot the name of the book, and I was like meaning to.
Oh, no, it's Smokescreen but then there's a subtitle.
Oh yeah, there usually is.
Yeah.
Douglas is a new member. Thank you. And Douglas didn't stop there. He gifted a membership as well.
Oh, that's righteous, bro. That's righteous.
Appreciate that, Douglas.
It's like that cat has rabies, though.
Right. David Parsons. Clayton Kershaw graduated from Highland Park High School in Dallas, my school, and was center on the state championship team, blocking for Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. And, the Texas Rangers wanted him. I doubt that's ever going to happen now because he's retiring as a Dodger and going into the Hall of Fame in 5 years. But, Texas through and through.
Dick Dickerson gifted 10 America's Untold Stories memberships. Thank you, Dick. He's on the board. We always appreciate seeing you. And Dina liked and subscribed from Korea. Let's go. Share your other excellent content. Well, thank you. We've got Korea covered now.
It's a lot of people in Korea, I noticed lately. And Australia, obviously the UK. That march, that Tommy Robinson march of the 3 million people the other day was one of the most uplifting things I've seen in the past years for me regarding the UK. I was so proud of them for going out into the streets. Finally, what does it take to get these people out of their houses, for Christ's sakes? 3 million people marching, being led by somebody. Apparently, Lafarge is now the leading candidate to be the next prime minister of England, of the UK.
There's so many problems with that dude, though, because it seems like like 1 minute he's on the side, then he's battling Tommy Robinson or going after.
I don't get it.
He's like Pierre Poilievre, who seems like the guy who was so solid, but then he just like starts trashing Trump every which way.
Bizarre, but something's got to go. Something's got to give over there. That 3 million people in the street was so uplifting. Let me just put it that way, because of what they're going through there in that fascist totalitarian regime of the British government. It's just the craziest thing I've ever seen.
I hope they can pull it out. I mean, they're really behind the curve on it. Bill M. Will Kershaw pitch in playoffs?
Yes.
All right. Ken Martin. Mark's Camera Fund. Love the show. Really, it's not.
Dude, you're so non-knowledgeable in this internet era. But thanks for the $10 anyway.
We do appreciate it. All I can say, though, is when we're doing the show, if the bandwidth is wonky, it's like all we can do is just roll.
That's all you can do.
And be thankful it's not the sound. Because believe me, a blurry mark is better than a bad microphone mark. Just trust me on this one. Think about being a kid. I'm going to age myself, and I know you went through this, Mark. You would watch a TV show that was snowy if you could hear.
Oh, of course.
But if the sound is off,
dude, we made my youngest brother be the kid who had to keep moving the antenna around like a slave.
As he should.
As he should. He was the youngest kid on the totem pole, and he had to keep moving the rabbit ears just to watch Gilligan's Island.
That's important. Jesus G. Erica Kirk can sue Kimmel for $1 billion, like Sandy did to Alex Jones.
That's not a bad idea.
For spreading misinfo over a killing. That's how this works, right?
You know what? I never thought about that. It's a great idea, Jesus.
Yeah, use it as the Alex Jones precedent.
Right. I would just make it exactly the same, word for word.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, fill in the different blanks.
You take the form, cut and paste, and say, all right, here it is. Go back to that judge in Florida. The one.
Hey, ChatGPT, rewrite this for these names.
I need it by 9 o'clock.
No kidding. Scott Frangos, a friend of Charlie who rode an SUV with him to hospital, said the security team had a drone up before the event, and he did not like how many buildings there were. Mark is right to question this. Okay.
Yeah. No, thanks, man. I mean, it is. I still haven't heard from Schaffer, the head of Schaffer Security, who is the guy ultimately responsible for this. Nobody's heard from this guy publicly.
I've heard that. I think I saw an article saying that his was confusing because he had different teams wherever he was. Like,
okay,
I don't know if they shifted out locals.
No, they probably do. But if it's one security firm, Schaffer, he's got to answer what the hell went on there. I mean, somebody's got to answer for this.
It's probably wise not to say a word and to just be working with authorities as much as he can and be quiet.
Right. No, I understand the wiseness of it, but CBS News does not contact this guy, or Fox News or Newsmax, saying, would you like to make a statement about this debacle of security that you're in charge of? I find it mind-boggling. I'm sorry.
I want to hear from him and the university too.
Absolutely.
The university has to, because they had 23 people on hand and they gave 8.
Yeah, so absolutely. It's got to be resolved. This has nothing to do with the trial of Robinson or the case itself. This is a completely separate issue.
Yeah, it's prevention.
Right, but I'm saying Ben Shapiro, where does he go now?
That's what I'm saying. Prevention.
Yeah. What does Ben Shapiro do? At his next public spokesperson event.
Yeah, and Alex Jones is talking about doing a tour now. You want to talk about a magnet?
Right.
I mean, there's a guy that
you don't think Shapiro's a magnet?
Shapiro is, but I'm just saying, if he is Alex for a magnet for the left, I can't think of anybody bigger than Alex Jones for being potentially in danger. I mean, he's so toxic to a lot of them. I'm kind of going, he might really be pushing things a bit.
Yeah, he should come out with a helmet and Kevlar
And a tank.
and a tank. And you could put bullet plexiglass around the person. I know that sounds insane, but I'm not in the security business. But the drone thing was just something that seems so obvious to me. What is and we discussed this already, but more will be revealed. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah, and it didn't have to be a drone. It could be somebody standing with binoculars looking at all the roof.
Look, I don't know. It's a huge company that he was involved in with Turning Point USA, and there's certainly enough money to get the best security imaginable. And if they were paying through the nose for security, and this guy Schaffer pocketed the money, I'd like to know that. I mean, there's a lot of questions. I mean, if you're paying $800,000 a week in security, and the security is not there because you're a greedy owner of a security company, somebody should sue this son of a bitch.
Sure. I also want to be very, very, very careful, because I do not want any way to imply or talk ill or anything of the dead. But there is also, I'm not. I want to expressly say that. But there is sometimes a challenge in covering somebody who wants to have as close a contact with people as possible. And again, I don't want to blame anybody, anything to that level, but that is a concern. And it's a problem they have with Trump and others.
He's got bulletproof glass now,
which he has to, and it's kind of that way. But protectorates can have a
not this coming Tuesday, but the following Tuesday. Maybe we can talk more intelligently about it. I don't want to give it away right now, but
okay. Well, I'll learn off air. To hint to everybody, I have no idea what he's talking about either.
Just a mumbling, wavy image from the internet. Don't pay any attention, folks.
Well, they said that your fuzzy AI.
Your fuzzy AI image is just rambling on at this point. Don't pay any attention to this guy. Christopher
Ebden gifted 10 America's Untold Stories and memberships, which we deeply appreciate. Thank you. Pimpernella. Here's your Belgian #1 fan. All right.
Wow.
Great shows this week, guys. For Jimmy, finally the straw that broke the Kimmel's back. Nice.
That's funny.
We all knew that was coming. Well played.
Well, some of us knew it was coming. I mean, I even without this incident, I think he would never have had his contract renewed, as I had predicted numerous times on the show. I think Seth Meyers is next, and as I've said before, Fallon will weather the storm, but not forever. Fallon eventually will be replaced, but I'm predicting the next guy to go down will be Seth Meyers.
Fallon, I think he'll have like 3 to 5 more years.
But it's not even personal with him. They want a clean house. They want a clean house.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that I think we may have been wrong on is I always thought that Kimmel would be first and Colbert would be second. So just getting the order wrong.
It's just a question of their contract. I'm not privy to the length of their contracts, but I just knew that these guys couldn't survive much longer.
All right. David Dave Tiggett. Mark, are you watching the Dodgers game tonight? Last regular season.
For the love of the game. Absolutely. You kidding me, bro? Wouldn't miss it for all the tea in China. For the love of the game, which is my movie pick of the week with Kevin Costner and Kelly Preston. One of the great baseball movies of all time. Yankee Stadium, Pitch in a Perfecta with Vin Scully as the announcer in the film. Great movie, totally appropriate for this weekend. Plus, if you want a scary one, The Ring is an unbelievably frightening movie, which I watched last night. I really recommend. It's not that old, but The Ring is a really scary movie.
Okay. Brahmian with 2 pounds. Thank you. Jesus G. I'm Gen Z. We really don't text that way. And I like to think our peers are diverse educational and economic classes. I think Hunley's right. They were fabricated by the libtard killer and his boyfriend.
Okay, but then it opens up the problem that the guy has surrendered to the authorities, and it's his texts, which they now believe are his texts.
Right.
So unless he says we made them up, but for what purpose?
If you look at the way they're written, they are to say that this guy is a nut job, and the guy who's cooperating had no idea. What? You did what? Are you kidding? Oh my God.
Well, he's going to have his time to prove
covers.
that. He's going to have his time to prove that.
Well, as long as they believe what it says, it helps them. As long as those texts are
there's
there.
so much more evidence that's going to be involved with.
Oh, sure. Well, that's why I said collect. That's why I said Hoover everything.
Just highly, highly doubtful regarding the entire phony text thing. Highly, highly doubtful. Oh, The Ring is 2002, Eric. And
I thought it was
2002. I just want to tell you something. This movie was so scary, and people who saw it must know. I didn't know about it, but oh, there is a Ring too. 2005. It's Gore Verbinski was the director, starring Naomi Watts. And I'll tell you right now, she's worth the price of admission. Naomi Watts, 2002. And there's a tip of the hat to teenage boys out there.
okay.
No, I'm serious. Check out Naomi Watts in The Ring. You will be hypnotized.
Okay, fair enough.
Just fair enough to the young men who follow the show. I had to sit up in bed last night and prop myself up to pay more attention.
Okay. As good as Wild Things?
In a way, but it's not the same subject. It's a horror film, but you can't take your eyes off her.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Corn Pop. Mark, I sent this money for a razor. Do you have something on your chin?
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard. Do you have a team with a name like the Indians anymore? Or you're now the stupid Commanders, Corn Pop?
All right. All right, Pew Pew. Thank you very much. Good show, guys. Always great to see you, Pew Pew. Thank you very much. And I want to check. Do we have anything on Rumble? I never want to miss that. No, nothing on Rumble. So, all right. I think we're going to be heading over to locals here momentarily. What do you have coming up next week?
Next week? I'm trying to get through today. But next week will be The Secret Life of Richard Lewis. And believe me, it's funny. You know what happens? It's great. I get to go through these old clips of comics that I haven't watched in years and laugh my head off from their clips. We're going to get into the life of Richard Lewis, who was an old friend of mine, an old neurotic, hypochondriacal friend of mine who was kept telling me he was dying for 30 years and eventually did last year.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of inside stories for this one.
All right.
We just did the Gilbert one, which people seem to enjoy.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. Well, to take us out as we head over to locals, we have a word from Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, we're going to get to Seinfeld too at some point.
Oh, perfect.
So I'm sitting there enjoying the stream and I realize how much people are not subscribed yet watching. Like, what's the deal? You don't got to get in your car or anything. You're trying to win a medal? Laziest person on earth? Can't subscribe? I've had to move my wrist and hit the click button. Frankly, it's beyond me. It's beyond me.